Yeah, it's recording.
All right, great. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob, and I'll be leading our little chat here in our meditation today. I'm with Compassion Works for All, and thank you, Cows, for having me and joining me today for the. Now I've learned, we were talking before we turned on here about the history of Cows in the meditation program, and I don't know how many years we had there, but it sounds like at least like 4 or 5 years that this program has existed, maybe more actually. Do we have those figures? Do we, if you want to chime in.
Maybe 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes.
That's so great. I love that. That's so great. That's congrats on all you meditation experts out there. And if you're joining us for the first time, thank you. So today I was kind of thinking about the art, I'll say, the act, the letting go, just the mental kind of capacity and the practice of letting go. And a few years back, probably even a decade at this point, you know, they go by so quickly, but there was things kind of happening career-wise for me or whatnot that would get me excited and then let down. There was a lot of that kind of thing in my work, and you know, getting excited about something can be such a positive thing, but it kind of helped for me find some balance with even the positive things. You know, I think when I think of letting go, a lot of the time I think about letting go of pain I've experienced or any suffering, and I think of it in that context. But around that time in my life, I was thinking about it as well, around my excitement and my love, and the times I'm maybe feeling really positive too, of just kind of finding comfort in letting go of those emotions as well. And it was, I think for me, the first time I was experiencing a little bit of more balance between both of those, maybe sad, anger, happy, joyful, you know, the kind of maybe the more polar extremes of emotions and everything in between, but just finding some balance with a different frame of thought on that. So just with that little intro, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today in the meditation. So we'll be thinking about that as far as some focus as we meditate today. Yeah, let's begin our meditation. If you want, for me, when I'm meditating, I'm sometimes I'll sit cross-legged, but as we were also talking before, I've had some hip pains, and so the chair is usually what my comfort zone these days for meditating. But if you just want to find yourself in a position to relax and that you feel comfortable, and if you want to just take a couple seconds to find your comfort zone for yourself. And as we're finding that, if you want to close your eyes, or if you just want to look down a little bit, kind of a few feet in front of you, just find a little spot to focus on. And even if you like to look around, just whatever in our meditations, I think the stillness is very important, but just, you know, getting there, if that takes a minute of looking around, kind of thinking and processing, but finding that silence for ourselves. We'll take a few just breaths at your own pace as we get into that comfort zone for ourselves. So we'll just scan through our body here, starting at the crown of our head. Just taking a few deep breaths to relax in our forehead, the top of our head, our eyes. Sometimes I think about it in the act of just being heavy, and the kind of natural process of gravity pull ourselves down. We can do that kind of through our cheeks, through our chin, our ears, just kind of let it all relax as much as we can. Our neck, shoulders. Just kind of letting go of our body as well. So many emotions and feelings can get locked into our body in different places. Just kind of letting go of those sensations, a lot of time the pain too in our body as best as we can. But that letting go too, it always comes with an act of observation, an acknowledgement, an awareness, an acceptance of what we're seeing. We have to see it to be able to let go of it. And you let go of our arms, our forearms, our hands, if you have them in your laps, just let them sit heavy. We'll take a couple deep breaths through our nose, filling our chest. Can we fill our stomach too? Deep breaths. And then outwards, releasing through our stomach, our chest. Just a couple of deep breaths like that. Deep breaths through our nose, our chest, our stomach, and then out through our stomach, chest, and nose. As we scan through our hips, our legs. Feel our weight release through our calves and through our ankles. If you are sitting, letting your feet really connect with the ground. Letting yourself be heavy, letting go. As we release and let go of our body, I want us to think about a time of joy for ourselves, a time of laughter if we can, even if that was a movie. Sometimes animals make me laugh. Myself, I try to laugh at myself as often as I can, but if you can contemplate and bring awareness to a moment of joy, possibly laughter for yourself. Take a few deep breaths with that moment of joy. You want to smile or let yourself feel those moments from the past of joy or laughter. Laughter is the expression of joy. As we come back into the space with the awareness of our past joy and laughter, can we let go of that too? Let go of those thoughts and reconnect with our body, starting with our feet. Move your feet a little bit. Arch your ankles, just feeling our ankles. Reconnecting in your calves. The thighs, the hamstrings, the hips. Bringing awareness to the breath. And the stomach, the chest, and the nose. Inhaling through the nose and the chest, the stomach. And wiggle your fingers a little bit. Softly roll your wrists. Bring your shoulders to your ears and down again. Acknowledging our neck, the throat, our cheeks, ears, eyes, all of our senses. Relaxing the forehead and bringing awareness to the crown of your head. And letting go of our body again as well. Just returning to the breath, breathing at your own pace. We'll take a few moments here in silence and just let go of the entire practice. Ring, ring. I don't have a little bell, but I would ring the little bell here, or bring us out of the meditation at that moment. I need to get a bell. I apologize for not having a little bell to bring us back into the Zoom room here. Well, I want to thank you for joining me during that meditation. Practicing our breath work and our awareness and our presence today. If you want, we have a few minutes here. We can open it up for a little discussion. I would be very curious to hear anyone's thoughts on that act of letting go of, of our joy, letting go of some of those types of feelings. As I talked about earlier, of letting go of any suffering feels to me to be maybe the more common way we think of letting go. I'm just always curious if there's ever other contemplations on letting go of our joy as well. But that was definitely a discovery for myself. Has anyone ever kind of contemplated that or practiced that in any way?
I've never tried letting go of joy. I think I struggle much more with letting go of something that's bothering me, whether it's something kind of like digging at me, or whether it's something painful or something like that. And I think that's much more of a struggle for me, is to not allow something like that to dominate my thoughts. And I was just wondering if you have any suggestions on a way that we can kind of let go of those things that are kind of trying to dominate our thoughts.
Yeah, has meditation been a way that helps for you?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Has meditation been as helpful?
I think so, for sure. Yeah. But so because learning just how to realizing that the thoughts don't define us, and that thoughts, they come, but they also pass.
Yeah.
And so for me, being able to maybe visualize that whatever that thought is, that it's a cloud and the wind is just blowing it by.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can maybe, I've heard the example before of like a leaf floating on a stream. Mm-hmm. that just put the thought, think of it as the leaf, and it's just going to go down the stream.
That's great. Yeah, that's, I think, kind of where I'm hitting the other end of the spectrum today too, is, and I don't want to look at letting go of joy as refusing to be happy or anything like that. It's kind of, for me, the way you described that, like with the leaf, I guess in my perspectives, I've kind of chosen to look at joy, that's going to happen with that as well. So the overall perspective of all of these emotions that I experience are all kind of those leaves that blow in and out of my existence, has helped me let go of, I guess, any attachment that I'll have for kind of both of those. Because sometimes I can be so attached to wanting to feel that happiness or wanting things to be peaceful and good that I'm kind of consumed by that. And then on the other end, there's some suffering I'm feeling, I can be consumed by that as well. So I think for me, again, just finding that balance, and that was my intent today with the focus on that meditation, with all of the emotions has kind of helped me let go of that. In that very nice analogy that you had too, of the one of my first meditation teachers really talked about it in the same context as you were, and I really relate to that.
And I think you make a great point, because whether it's that pursuit of happiness that's, dominating or whether it's the other side that's dominating. Either way, it's just being able to, it comes and it goes and being okay with that. I think that's a really important point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that question you asked too. And one more point I'd love to make on that too is that awareness and acknowledgement and has really helped me as well, on either end of that too, of just like, wow, I'm so happy right now. Like, let's really be grateful for this and enjoy this, knowing that it may not be this tomorrow or whatnot. And the same end on that, on the other end, but just kind of almost a labeling sometimes for myself, but it feels like an awareness and acknowledgement, kind of a reflection on what I'm feeling in those moments has been a nice access way to letting go of. Once again, for myself, I feel like it can just be an attachment to maybe what I'm caught up in that is what's causing or affecting those emotions.
And one of the other things that you and Jeannie both touched on, for me, negative thoughts are super sticky. Like, it's hard to get rid of them and let them go. So I think that practicing, bringing up that joy and then letting it go, I can see how that would be helpful, for doing that with more negative thoughts or struggles or worries as well. Because, like you said, feelings are transient. Mm-hmm. But the negative ones seem to be the ones that really try to stick to us a little bit more. So that was very helpful for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think about it a lot with that sticky label, but I think that's such a great one because it feels like that. I was actually helping my mom repair. She broke her glasses right here and we were super gluing it and it just was getting all over my hand and it was so sticky. I couldn't get it off for a day, literally. And I think emotions can be like that a lot of times. And I agree with you. The negative ones can tend to feel even more sticky. And I think because they're just more difficult to process too. Maybe because it just feels so complicated when we feel bad and kind of simple and maybe sometimes childlike in a way when we feel happy, because it's just a pureness to that joy. It's almost A to A rather than like A to Z and the processing of the emotions from the positive ones to the negative ones.
Yeah.
Does anyone else on the call have any thoughts or questions for Jacob today? Okay. All right. Well, Jacob, we certainly thank you Jacob, did you have any closing thoughts for us today?
Well, thank you for the discussion after that. And thank you for joining me again on the meditation. And the one thing I would like to underline and leave is that any kind of letting go of joy to me is just kind of, I think our talk helped extrapolate on that from my perspective, is just a step towards the letting go of emotional attachment and kind of staying in whatever it is. So there's kind of just been a deeper method of kind of awareness for me to kind of look at both sides of those, the negative feelings and the emotion. But I really appreciate this discussion afterwards to really underline, as we said, the stickiness, which I'm going to really, that's going to stick with me moving forward as a good label for those negative emotions, because it's harder to detach ourselves from sticky things literally. So to think of that kind of metaphorically with feelings is, to me, a helpful viewpoint to look at detaching from them. But yeah, I can talk about that for days because I think that's just so fascinating. And I appreciate being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to hold